Welcome to Founders Future, a podcast powered by Closers.io, where we explore the journeys of visionary entrepreneurs and the strategies driving their companies forward. I'm your host, Jay Encarnacion, and in each episode, we uncover the stories behind innovative ventures, the challenges they face, and their plans for growth. Today, we are excited to have Karan Patel, the founder of Trelth Solutions. Karan leads Trelth, a company revolutionizing medical billing and revenue cycle management with AI-driven solutions, automations, and a commitment to compliance. Founded to empower healthcare providers, Trelth serves both small practices and large organizations, streamlining operations and boosting financial success. We'll be diving into Karan's founding story, how Trelth is transforming healthcare administration, and his vision for scaling this impactful venture. So, with that being said, let's dive right into it. Karan, welcome to Founders Future.
Thank you. Pleasure is all mine.
An absolute pleasure to have you on the show today, Karan. So, if you could take us back to the beginning, what specific problem in the medical billing or revenue cycle management space really inspired you to launch Trelth?
All right. Thank you, Jay. Every year, US healthcare providers leave an estimated of about 15 to 30% of earned revenue on the table
Mm,
because revenue cycle tasks such as like coding, charge capture, prior authorization, or denial follow up are still fragmented across like spreadsheets, clearinghouse portals, or overstretched staff. And let's be honest, staff complies a lot of human errors. So I saw that pain the first hand while advising a multi-specialty group in Florida in my previous experience as a marketing manager. And honestly, when it comes like making human errors, people sometimes might make huge caps of errors. So sometimes billing teams AR has over 90 days of remittance balance kept under 40% or above 40% sometimes. So these are the errors which I wanted to get eliminated through the use of AI, which is pretty huge these days in every field that you can possibly imagine. Because human coders usually juggle between CPT and ICD-10 coding, and honestly, I wouldn't blame them. It's a lot of coding,
yes.
and medical coding is no joke. So pair edits, NCD rules, the silo data for the PM, EHR, and clearinghouse systems, those things are sometimes a pain.
Yeah.
And that's why I said I don't blame them. Practices usually or rarely, I would say, know why they are losing a lot of dollars, but to these insurance companies or these insurance giants, they lose a lot of money.
Yeah.
And that's where I thought of bringing Trelth into picture, where agentic AI can actually revolutionize revenue cycle platform through autonomously coding in real time through LLMs and fine tuning on more than 30 million compliant coding claim lines, also predicting the denials upfront, flagging missing documentation, and auto generating appealing letters, and also providing a single API first pane of glassware providers, coders, and finance leaders can see cash performance live, not 45 days later. So we are actually cutting that time off. And that's what we do.
Amazing. Amazing. So I definitely want to dive in a bit deeper into what you're doing here with Trelth, especially for our listeners. Once this episode airs, Karan, some of our listeners could very well want to come and work with you in the services you're providing. So walk us through how you're really generating revenue today, Karan, as far as the core offer. I know you do the medical billing, the RCM, the AI enhanced tools. What is the core offer and how is it structured for your clients? I know that you work with healthcare providers, insurance companies. What's that core offer there?
So currently, right now, we are pre-revenue. So I would say that because of the fact that I am trying to be as perfect as I can before I enter the market, or my company, I want my company to be as perfect as I can, or my AI to be as perfect as I can. That's the sort of nuance I have personally in my life by making that product the right market fit before it hits the market has
Right.
kept me pre-revenue for the past 3 months, since I am myself working on the MCP, the model context protocol for the AI agent. And that is the reason we haven't launched yet. We are still working on the fact of like developing the AI agent more, training the agent more on data, so it can be like as accurate as it can be and not make any mistakes, because mind you, this agent is supposed to be working with people's data in real time, where number one, it is sensitive, number two, it is HIPAA compliant, so any and every mistake would cost me either money or scrutiny from HIPAA, which you cannot afford. So that's the reason that we haven't launched yet, and we are expecting to launch soon. But so far, all I can tell you is that as far as the model goes through, we have been like, I'm sorry, I forgot your question, but
What will, once you do launch, what are the offers going to be? What will you be offering with the agent to, the healthcare providers and the insurance companies?
so what our offer value wise would be is something that is very, I wouldn't use the term replaceable, like human replaceable AI agent, or like a company that replaces the human errors, but I would say something that can actually work very hand in hand with the people, or alongside the human ICD medical billers or coders or RCM personnel, where my company comes into picture, where AI agent actually works with you in order to like fine tune your revenue cycles. So right now in US system, you have to hire people in office to work for your RCM towards increasing your AR or increasing your money aspect revenue wise, whereas my company would do all the work for you, where there is AI, there's like human coders to make sure that the AI is working in its perfect sense, in its perfect balance. And we can do it for much lesser and much cheaper when it comes to like actually hiring people here or some sort, if that makes
Gotcha.
sense.
Yeah, it does. So you're building a model context protocol that is going
Mm,
to, the AI agent that you will be installing into your clients' systems to then help them work alongside the medical billers, the coders to catch errors, fine tune their revenue cycles, and be able to eventually essentially make them more money on the mistakes that you'll be catching with your AI agents. Does that sound correct for our
so
listeners?
here's the catch. We actually don't install any sort of AI into anybody else's platform or
Interesting.
software. We actually use their own software to
Wow.
save them time and money, because using a whole new software or training their current staff on
Right.
a brand new software actually lags time, efficiency, and revenue.
Right.
Instead of doing that, we actually work with these healthcare providers' own software. Let's say, for example, Athena Health. So we would go into their own software, work with the data that is currently present on that particular healthcare providers' software side, and then my team would be able to like harness the data from their end into our AI agent, which is completely safe, by the way. It is very compliant through HIPAA, and it is very compliant through the ICD medical billing codes. So you don't have to worry about any sort of like data breach or data losses, and just make the process smooth over the period of time, and like
Absolutely.
better and efficient.
Absolutely. So with that and your plans on being able to launch, is this something that you're bootstrapping here, Karan, or are you raising capital, fundraising? What does that look like before you actually launch?
I have tried raising capital before the company even launched, because I know like right now recently AI companies have been doing that a lot. I think the CTO of OpenAI, because I look up to OpenAI a lot when it comes to working or learning, my teaching myself
Yeah,
on different things AI related, and I would give them a shout out any day.
yeah.
If they want to hire me, sure, let's do it. I don't mind.
I
But
love it.
because that's my AI journey started. I was like, got curious about what open AI was
Right.
initially, and that's how I started like researching or teaching myself about AI, anything and everything. So I have raising capital from a couple of VC friends of mine, and a couple of like private equity investors. who I have worked with in the past, and all they have led me to come to a conclusion is like, right now I need to work on the company, work on the product. Once that comes in, put in as much effort as I can into the sales aspect of it.
Right.
And once it starts making me a monthly revenue of X amount of dollars or whatsoever, I actually don't need funding.
I love it. I
So
love it. So you're able to bootstrap this on your own and you plan to launch this within the next 3 months with
probably yes.
incredible.
Most likely yes.
Incredible. So with that, let's talk a bit about the acquisition. What are your plans to get leads in? Are you going to utilize more of the ad side, social media side? What channels do you feel are going to be most effective to bring leads in? Are you doing anything right now to start getting leads in, or is that something you still have to work on?
Right now, we are not putting any brain space when it comes to acquiring any sorts of leads, because I have been getting a lot of like in LinkedIn emails from companies or
Yeah.
individuals who are claiming to help me get leads, like all those like LinkedIn ads
Right.
from
Right.
people where they are like, oh, you don't get paid, we don't get paid until you find a qualified lead, or blah blah blah. I think they're like modern day scammers
Yeah.
sometimes, where people are trying to call you and be like, "Hey, we have $45,000 worth of loan approval for you." I'm
Right.
like, I have never asked for 45,000 in the first
Yeah.
place. So right now, like my sole focus is developing the MCP for the company. So we that's since I'm the only founder and
Right.
CEO or whatever title you want to give me for the company. And then my CTO is based out of India, actually, who's working on the AI agent along with me as well. So we both are like longtime college friends since bachelor's. That's why like we came up with the idea, because
Yeah.
he's the one who's actually certified in the ICD-10 or CPT medical billing and coding industry, because you need a certification.
Right.
You need to be HIPAA compliant, but HIPAA compliance does not need any sort of certification whatsoever. But ICD-10 does need certification for you to be able to run the medical codes through. So he brought me this idea and I liked it. So right now we are not actually doing it, just to cut short. But we might, as far as the target audience is concerned, like I'm a marketing person, so I need to find the or the area where actually these healthcare providers are situated for me to be able to market this company to. Honestly, sales aspect seems to be a very door to door z thing to me right now, because I'm more or less convinced for the fact that if you go to a healthcare provider's office, bring them donuts, and be like, hey, I have this company where this is what we do, and we would love to chat, or we would love to have you a brief introduction of what we do and what we offer. That will be more convincing rather than showing them some sort of like online ads. But since I'm a marketer, and as especially a digital marketer, digital ads wouldn't hurt either.
So,
I just need to find exactly where, on what platform these doctors are. Most
yes.
likely it might be on X. Most likely they might be on Reddit,
Right.
because those are the two very recently like discovered platforms that people are running ads on.
Yeah.
Usually you go by like Facebook, Instagram, like Meta in short to be precise, or Google, which is workable. Everybody uses Google, so Google ads is in my mind. Apart from Google, I was also thinking about like targeting ad campaigns on X. So that's been something that has been running on my mind. Marketing doesn't leave you, brother. That's
Yeah.
how
It
it
never
is.
does. It never does.
Never does.
I
Doesn't
mean,
matter what you do.
absolutely. Ron, talk to me about some bottlenecks that you're thinking about that you're looking to break through. I know the main focus right now is finishing the MCP, getting everything built
Mhm.
out and working properly. What are some bottlenecks that you're looking to break through to get everything up and running properly and effectively and really be able to launch this and start making money with it?
Apart from the MCP, there aren't any like real time bottlenecks when it comes to me personally giving as much time as it's supposed to get, because I'll be honest, I literally woke up like 20 minutes ago
Yeah.
from a nap after being awake for 17 hours straight.
Wow. Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
I was awake the whole night just giving data and doing work, like working on Trelth, and also doing some sim racing in the on the side. I am a big Formula One person.
Incredible.
Shout out Formula One Silverstone GP, which happened recently, and Nico Hulkenberg who won, and I won the podium. My bad, McLaren won actually, but it requires a lot of time. One of the bigger bottlenecks I would say is the right amount of education that requires me to be exactly right about building the AI agent or building the MCP, because
Mm,
sometimes I have to educate myself a lot on the API context,
yeah.
and I spend a lot of time researching,
Yeah.
because you exactly don't know what platforms are going to give you what outcomes. Because
Right.
I've done research on OpenAI model context APIs. I've been through Anthropic. I've been through Nvidia AI agents, like not the AI agents, the AI platforms. I've tried to use Meta. I've tried to use Abacus. It's a company which gives you like different sorts of LLM all into one umbrella,
Yeah.
and it's a great tool, by the way, for new beginners of people, like AI users. You get to use a lot. Abacus.ai, that's the right place where you can go to. So educating yourself, leveraging that education to be able to use that into your product is something that I struggle with on a day-to-day basis,
Right.
because it's an ongoing process.
Yes.
And everything that's happening in the space of AI right now, OpenAI being robbed of like people by Meta, uh,
Yes.
having $100 million
They're
signing
like they're
bonuses.
professional athletes. That's what it is now.
And yeah, and it blew my mind. I'm like, $100 million signing bonus.
That's
I was
insane.
like, I would love to have something like that
Yeah.
and just not worry about it in a day in my life. But I have to sit here, spend a lot of time researching about all these things. And then also researching about like the ICD-10 code, the RCM codes and stuff like that, on how it can actually be incorporated into the MCPs. So those are some educational bottlenecks, I would say. Apart from that, one of my other bottlenecks sleeping right down my house right now, like on the first floor. He's my dog.
I
He gives me some trouble, but it's all good.
love
It's a part of your journey.
it.
That's how it is.
I love it.
So yeah, that's how it is.
Incredible. I have one more question for you here, Karan, before we do wrap up the show. And it's
Yes,
going to
sir.
be for our listeners. And that's just going to be, what is the best piece of advice that you can give to our listeners that just listened in and heard your incredible journey and what you're doing with Trelf? What can you leave them with before we wrap up the show today, Karan?
One piece of advice. Being this as my first podcast interview, I've always dreamt about this question, I would say. But right now, when it comes to asking it and answering it, it seems funny, because I always imagine, I was like, hey, maybe Joe Rogan is supposed to interview me, because I was literally thinking about that like day before yesterday. But I know I had you in my mind as well. One piece of advice I would say to anybody who's out there, just to like trying to achieve or pursue their dream of opening their own company, and people telling you like, hey, you should rather stick to a 9 to 5 or blah 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 or whatever. It's like, I'm like, hey, you can still do a 9 to 5 and still build a company by yourself. Because one thing what's going to happen is, I heard a great quote from Chris Williamson the other day. And I'll try to put it in the best words right now, since I'm
Yeah.
lacking a lot of sleep. Nobody would see that you are successful. Nobody would actually see the work that you have put in until you become successful. And then once you become successful, they'll just say that you got lucky.
Yes.
So keep yourself out there and keep doing what you're doing, because you don't know when you are gonna hit that jackpot or that success. Like, you don't know what day you would hit that. You don't
Yes.
know what day you would make it through, and people would see it and be like, oh, this guy got really lucky. But you don't know how much effort he has put through. I'm running on 3 hours of sleep, but I don't care. If it helps me bring success, I do not care.
I love it. I
So that's
absolutely
how
love
it
it.
is.
That's it. That's it. With that right there, that is going to wrap up another inspiring episode of Founders Future. And a huge thank you to you, Karan, your first podcast. So a pleasure for it to be
First
with me
podcast,
on Founders
and
Future.
hope it's not the last one.
Absolutely. And just incredible journey and sharing your insights. And I know you're going to do some amazing things with Trelth. So keep on working hard. And I know you're going to really see success here. And to our listeners, if you enjoyed this episode, be sure to subscribe to Founders Future wherever you get your favorite podcasts. And also, you can learn more about Trelth's transformative medical billing and RCM solutions at trelth.com and connect with Karan on LinkedIn at linkedin.com/in/Karan PTL 46. For more resources and insights, you can visit us here at closers.io, where we are helping businesses accelerate their growth. Until then, keep climbing, and we will see you on the next one.